Good morning, everybody. It's November 7. I just want to give a little bit of an overview, an update of what's currently going on in the Amazon sellers community. I know there's a lot of anger and a lot of chaos. So I just want to explain what's going on, explain what I think Amazon's position is, and of course what the sellers' position is. I'm then going to give a call to action, what I think Amazon needs to do, and what I think sellers need to do. And hopefully we'll all get through this stronger and smarter. Amazon has a rights owner complaint system, which pretty much means that any brand has a right to say that any seller is selling an item that's counterfeit or trademark, like we know. Now they have to have a system like this because of the internet, somebody could put up, say, a Nike item, and it could be counterfeit. And if we have to wait until the lawyers have evidence and until they get a judgment, it'll be the end of brands. The guy will sell 100,000 units overnight. So Amazon has to have this system, and sellers, I hope, understand it. So even if you don't think you're infringing, which I think 98% or 90% of the times the infringement is probably bogus, it's possible that you are infringing and Amazon doesn't want to take responsibility because if there's a lawsuit and it really is counterfeit, the brand is going to tell Amazon, well, we told you it's counterfeit, so don't say it's just a marketplace. And the seller is just going to close up shop and open up his next account. So I can't blame Amazon for doing that. They have to protect themselves. Now, sellers, this is very frustrating because any seller, any nameless guy can just fill out a form, and if he knows which words to say, he can say you're selling counterfeit, and the item goes down. Now, everybody agrees that this is not Amazon's problem, and that if this happens, then we agree that the ASIN should be going down. What everybody is saying, everybody, including sellers who are speaking to account managers, is fine, okay, that if that item is somebody asserts that it's counterfeit, okay, I'll take my lawyer, I'll maybe go to court, we'll speak, we'll try to get a retraction, and we'll deal with it. But that does not mean that my entire account should be suspended. What's happening is, what happened the past few weeks is that long-time sellers that have 30, 40, 50 employees, selling 10, 15, 20, even 140 million a year, these sellers are being suspended for selling counterfeit. Now, of course, they're not selling counterfeit because why would somebody that has so many employees and so much invested take one item, which he sells one piece, and try to get money if it's counterfeit? Even if he makes a mistake, it's his responsibility, but that's not what's happening here. What's happening here are the IPs are being overly aggressive, which is not Amazon's issue. It's really the seller's issue, which is fine. But what is Amazon's issue is that they're taking down the entire account. And currently there are sellers totaling billions of dollars. Many of the top 500 sellers are suspended for 2 weeks. And this is causing incredible stress and financial issues, and people are being laid off. And this is the situation where we are now. And POAs are really not being answered to. A lot of them are not being accepted. It seems like there's a lot of chaos and getting all kinds of messages, people saying, Ed, you got to do something, you got to do something. So I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, when you're suspended and then you get back, all this hurt, when you amortize it over, let's say, 10 years, as bad as it is, even if it's 50, 60 grand a day, it ends up not being so much. So everybody calm down. If you get reinstated, I mean, I shouldn't say I understand the stress, but once you get reinstated, and I believe everyone in the situation is going to get reinstated, once you're back, then a day later, pretty much it'll be forgotten. So therefore, I think right now, everybody acknowledges that it makes no sense for a long-term seller that received one, two, three infringement claims. And by the way, many are getting retractions on all of them, and they're still not reinstated. So I think anybody, especially a large reputable seller, that got suspended from early October till around, I think it was the end of October, Most of those, hopefully, Amazon can quickly reinstate, and sellers will have to make sure not to relist those ASINs until this rights owner process improves vastly. And so that's, I think, the first call of action. Really, the only call of action to Amazon, the immediate, is that reputable sellers selling thousands of items and millions a month with dozens of employees, I think those need to be bulk reinstated because clearly something failed, and I think it's plain for the eye to see. Sellers, I've been seeing all kinds of very hostile and really tough statements, and people, even one person was even mad at me saying I'm too nice. Um, and so sellers need to know also that Amazon, first of all, there are tons of very, very bad sellers that are selling counterfeit. And when that happens, nobody backs up Amazon. It's just Amazon, and they got to defend it with lawyers. So true, you may have gotten a bad rap and you may have gotten caught up, but definitely it's not coming from a bad place. And I think sellers need to acknowledge that yes, it's very unfair just from one second to the next to just shut you down for really no reason. But overall, Amazon's been very good to you, and long term, I'm sure they will be very good to you. And this is just a small hiccup, and there's no need to, to throw out the baby with the bathtub or whatever that line is. Another thing is, I think, very important is that sellers, especially if you're a large seller, you really need to have an attorney, right? And there are plenty on the group from the sheet who can sort of vet and check if all your items are legit, but even not legit, you want to stay away from like the baby foots and those type of brands that just fill out these forms and there's no basis whatsoever. I know some people say that you can fight it, don't give up. But the fact of the matter is, you're not going to fight it. It costs around $500,000 to sue one of these people, and it's not easy. And a lot of times they have, like a 1% merit, and you don't really know what's going to happen. And it could take like a year and a half until it goes through. So really, the best thing, in my opinion, is really to try to avoid these real headache type of groups, type of brands, because long term in this environment it's going to hurt you. So definitely get a competent lawyer. That's number one. Number two is definitely try to calm down. I'm pretty sure you're all going to get back. You don't have to like say things you're going to later regret about Amazon or your account manager or to Jeff or whatever you're going to do. No, and number three, avoid these really aggressive brands. In order to get this out, first of all, if you can comment below, it's going to be in the Facebook group. I would prefer if you comment in the Facebook group. And if you can share and tweet this as much as you can, and we're using the hashtag pound work with us Amazon, because we're not in any way hostile with Amazon. We agree that it's a partnership, and we really want to iron this out, and this is a solvable problem. And we want to work with you to resolve this issue, and we can forget about these difficult 3 weeks. Thank you very much.